So, like, great sweep and everything. I am happy. Does that almost fall into the category of winning a game they shouldn't, but, like, with a massive asterisk on it? Oh, great question. They. That was a game. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 24 of the regular season, where the Astros win 3-1 over the Toronto Bluejays and complete their first sweep of the season, beating those filthy Canadians. No, I will not move off of that. This is a win for the Astros. It is a series sweep. That part is great. The first two games, beautiful. Very, very good games. This is trying so hard to fit in the category that I just love talking about. And everyone who's been here for any length of time knows that category, which is good teams become good by winning games they shouldn't. And I say it might have the caveat of, does it count as winning a game you shouldn't when the reason you shouldn't is completely self-inflicted? What do I mean by that? The Astros ran the Blue Jays over. Like, they kind of beat the absolute tar out of them. They had 13 hits tonight, the Astros did. Blue Jays had 5. The Astros had an expected batting average of 288, nearly 300, and the Blue Jays were not even at 220. Like, they mopped them. On full regards, they mopped them. Here is the issue with the Astros' performance tonight. They still left 11 men on base, and they went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So, on one hand, three runs on 13 hits and going 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, 10 men left on, horrible numbers. Genuinely awful, awful numbers. Should be a recipe for disaster. But they did still win, and so if you want to be like, yeah, they figure out a way to win because the pitching comes up big, I am all for that. You live a far happier life than I do. I see that and I'm like, that was a bad game and you got really lucky. But again, I have trust in this team. More good performances out of those players that I do have trust in, genuinely, which is a nice little thing to see. And they did find a way to win a game that they probably shouldn't have, because those are horrible offensive numbers. Off the heavy back of Christian Walker, again, another really good game. Maybe he just needed to see my face again. And you know what? Thank you, Christian. I'm glad to be back, too. He had 5 consecutive hits after coming off of the day of rest, which is great to see. Another 2-hit performance tonight, including that home run. Yainer Diaz had a good night as well, had a pair of base hits, nothing too shabby out of him. DeZenzo also had a really nice night tonight, 3 for 4 with an RBI from him. There was some good offensive performers. Yordan Alvarez ripped the ball 3 different times, but still only managed 1 base hit tonight, which is a very Yordan Alvarez statistic, and we all kind of know that deep in our bones. The Astros did enough to get the win offensively. The pitching was great. Ryan Gusto is having a really nice season, which is a weird sentence that I did not imagine I'd be saying. Goes 5 2/3, only gives up 1 run, only gives up 1 walk, picks up 6 strikeouts, gives up quite a bit of hard contact, but you can kind of live with it. Brian King comes in, probably the best reliever of the evening, which is weird because he's the only one that didn't pick up a strikeout. 8 pitches for an inning and a third. Averaging 2 pitches per at bat is just wild. Only 1 hard bit of contact in that inning and a third. Nothing too shabby out of him. Brings that ERA down to 1.5 flat. Brian Abreu heads in, does pick up a strikeout in his inning of work. Nice inning out of him. Then you have Josh Hader. Mixed inning. Gives up a walk and a base hit. Labors for a while. Does have to get up to 23 pitches, which isn't great. Gets a pair of strikeouts. No hard contact. And if I can find it real quick, 6 swings and misses. So on one hand, the tying run was on. On the other hand, he himself pitched very well. It was just an unfortunately long inning for him, so we're just going to move and be happy. So my parting thought for you all is this, and it really speaks specifically about this game, but for the season as a whole so far. Yes, I am being incredibly nitpicky about this game, because yeah, the offense did enough. They were good, they just couldn't string a lot of hits together. So am I going to nitpick that to hell and back? Yes. Am I going to be a bit of a jerk about Ronel Blanco having a really nice outing, but, this or that wasn't there? Yes. Am I going to be a bad person? Talk about Ryan Gusto having a bit of hard contact? Yes. Or Brian King's inning, or Abreu's inning, or a hater? Yes. May I remind you all of one thing, though, which is, for the past 2 seasons, maybe 2.5 seasons, we kind of haven't nitpicked wins because they've desperately needed them. This is a return to a standard. The Astros, very, very, very recently, were the horrifying boogeyman monster of the American League and of Major League Baseball as a whole. Then they kind of go cold for a little bit of time, and we all, as a community, get to that point of like, I just want to see them kind of win some games again. They just need to pick up a series win here or there. Doesn't have to be pretty, just need to get those wins for the column and get back into the wild card race. Not the division race, even though they did win 2 divisions in that time, but just the wild card race, because both times they won it was basically the last week. Right now, they are playing good baseball again. They are winning a lot of games again. They are actually looking like that team of old, winning those games that you definitely shouldn't. And so, this is my green light to bring back the standard that they have held themselves to for almost a decade now, and be a jerk again. And I say that with joy in my heart, because this, God, all the runners left on base and all, is the team that I and everyone else loves, and truly, truly, at our deepest core, believes can win another World Series. It's the one that can just get it done, that does have those off nights. And yeah, we can point out those things about the off nights, but you know what happens a lot more often than those kind of not so beautiful wins? Dominant wins, like Game 1 of this series. Dominant wins, like Game 2 of this series. And so, when I nitpick, when you nitpick, when a thought comes to your mind that you go, should I really be thinking about this team right now since they're kind of getting back to the way things used to be? Yes, you're in the right to think that. Because this is a good team, and we need to hold them to that higher standard. And they are, finally, after all of this time, back to a higher standard. They have the day off tomorrow. They are back at it Friday, 7:40 Eastern, 6:40 Central, against the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City. I will be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.